Hey everybody, it's Matt, and I didn't know I was trans. Let's talk about that. So when talking about trans people growing up and little trans children and everything, and how people figure out that they were trans, there are usually two major times in one's life that it can show up, so to speak, and that is early childhood or puberty. And there are a couple of reasons that people kind of speculate that this happened. And it's early childhood, it's because, well, it's just, if it's who you are, then you're either going to realize it straight away, or it's going to take some triggers, so to speak. And that's where the puberty aspect comes in, because you may not realize that your body is different from how you envision it until you start to develop your secondary sex characteristics that most medical transition works to reverse. Now, how this applies to me personally is my puberty was hell. Now, at this point, I'm just going to put a trigger warning. In this video, I'm going to talk about signs early on, basically, that led to my realizing, like my mental gender confirmation, I guess, which involve eating disorders, self-harm, and severe depression. So if you feel like you cannot handle any of those topics, I have plenty of other videos that you can watch. I'm gonna try and make this quick and dirty because it's not really, my childhood really isn't what this video is to talk about. But, so growing up, my puberty, from about 8th grade, oh god, how old was I? 13? 12? 13? I don't know. From when I was like 12, which is about when puberty started happening, to when I was about 14, 15, most trans people have this phase where they just say, screw it, and they're like, I'll just do my best to fit in. And so that's where that phase started for me. It's about 14 or 15. But before that, I had this long, dark period of just like severe depression, and I dealt with I guess I say an array of eating disorders. It was really just a lot of disordered eating behavior that fit into different categories. It's a long mother. So anyway, what I'm trying to say here is I really just didn't like myself. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I acted. I didn't like the way people interacted with me. I didn't like anything about how I was, my being. And I attributed that to being fat, because I guess that was what was in the media, I guess. It was just what I saw. It was, like, I knew I hated myself. I didn't know why. And so everybody around me was dealing with these weight issues. So I'm like, oh, it must be a weight issue. That's why everybody else hates themselves. So I guess I'm trying to avoid problematic language here. I guess I say I worked really hard. That's not what I'm trying to say, but it's... I really threw myself into improving my bodily image to maybe fix how I felt inside, to like fix this disconnectedness, which also went into the reason that I self-harmed. Is I felt so disconnected from my body, I just wasn't sure if it was mine. Like there's this song lyric, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And that's really dark, and I'm trying to keep this lighthearted because that's how I deal with things, but that's what it was like, is I just felt so disconnected from my physical being that I was trying to simultaneously destroy it and make it into what I thought it was supposed to be. Fast forward, and this is what I'm trying to talk about. All that backstory. My self-hatred came from trying to explain a deeper feeling. I was using physical means to try and explain the way I felt about myself. And you know, I had seen trans people in the media. I kind of knew that being transgender was a thing, but I didn't apply it to myself. It really expresses the importance of representation, not to just educate cis people, but to also encourage trans people to say, look, this is a thing that you can do. This is a possibility. Because when we see trans people and we see rainbow people in the media, we're like, yes, I accept you, I acknowledge that you are a thing, and then we go off on our merry way. But the way it worked, I guess for me personally, and the way I wish it would work for more people, I'm not sure how to do this, but is I saw trans people, like say, for instance, YouTubers. I met the trans person at that concert that I was talking about in a few videos back, and I thought, this is a real thing. This is an actual like a real thing. It's not for celebrities, it's not some weird, unattainable doobly-doo. It's real. And so that's, while I started getting into this community, it was like looking in a mirror, and all of that self-hatred was explained. So when I say I didn't know I was trans, that's kind of what I'm talking about, is I didn't know that I was trans. But looking back, that's where it all came from. Like, you look at the timeline of things, like as soon as I started developing not cis man secondary sex characteristics, that was when I really started feeling so disconnected from myself, because what was on the outside wasn't what was on the inside. And I just attributed that to being fat, when in reality, it was just gender dysphoria. So to make a long motherfucking story short, trans people in the media are so much more than representation. They're kind of like this glowing beacon of hope for people who may not know that they're trans. They may see these people in the media and be like, everything you're saying is things that I feel. Oh my God. And it'll just be, it's this huge revelation. It's really a thing that I can't describe, but it's amazing. And that's why representation is so much more important than we think it is. Because it opens up that door for people who may be drowning and they don't know what they're drowning in. So that's just my personal story. If you want to hear more about how I grew up and everything that I dealt with, then please let me know in the comments, because I'd be happy to talk about it, but I don't know if anybody would like to listen. I'm really not in that mood today, or else I would have made that video. But if you like this video, please like it physically. If you want to hear more of what I have to say, please subscribe. It's harmless, it costs exactly $0 a month, and it is full of trans fat. I'm sorry about that. If you have anything you want to hear me talk about, please let me know in the comments. I respond to everybody. I try to. If you want to follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, etc., all that information is down below. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Just a few quick updates. I have almost 600 subscribers. Ugh, that's crazy. I love all of you guys. You're all my friends. So that's really exciting. If you can share this video and get me to 1,000 by the end of the year, then there is a special surprise in it for you, which I will think of later. I did get a tattoo. If you can see me when I gesticulate, I got a tattoo, so that's pretty cool. There's a backstory about that. I'll make a video about it later. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you later.